All right, so I made it out of the East Idaho mountains, as you can see. I'm in a hotel room. I'm up in Montana now. So when I got that break in the weather and I packed up and booked it out of Idaho, I had a slight little mishap at a gas station, as I'll show you here. That was something stupid. I broke my own rule of not committing. But yeah, basically what had happened there is I had pulled up and I'd gotten gas, and then I pulled up into the corner of the parking lot and went inside of the store to get some food and something to drink, and the bike had sat out, and it was really cold out. It was like barely above freezing, and the bike had sat for a while, long enough for it to fully cool off. And when I came out to the bike, I was getting all my stuff together and on and ready to go. And I got on the bike, and mind you, at this point, the engine was totally cold. Well, when I got on the bike and turned it on, it was in gear. And you should always start a motorcycle in neutral, just because you never know what to expect, and I broke that rule. Pulled in the clutch, fired it up, and then let the clutch out, because recluse clutch, right? Slipper clutch, it's not gonna go anywhere. Well, between it being cold with the oil viscosity thickening a bit, so there was more friction in the clutch plates, and it was idling at a higher RPM because it was cold. When I let that clutch out, it started to creep forward. And if I had just rolled on that throttle and committed to it, everything would have been fine. But I didn't. I walked with it and tried to slow the thing down and stop it, and physics won. Gravity took over, the thing just toppled over. I mean, I got a lot of weight on this bike. I easily got another 100, 120 pounds worth of gear, and it's very, very top heavy. And I'm a short person to begin with, so tall bike, lots of weight, top heavy. It was just a recipe for disaster. Anyhow, not a big deal. Had to just quick pull all the gear off the bike, pick it back up, and then put the gear back on. So there was that, and I jumped on I-15 north up towards Montana, which is where I'm at now. That was about a 200-mile stretch of interstate, which is 80 miles an hour. Of course, it was chilly, and I just kept watching it get colder and colder and colder, and I'm just sitting there shivering like, oh my gosh. The temperatures, they ranged anywhere from about 37 degrees to 44 degrees. I was worried because I started getting into, I don't want to call them mountains, they're more kind of like hills. When I got into Montana and up high in the mountains, aside from the interstate, I could see a little bit of snow up at the top, so I was kind of worried I was going to get into some snow. But I didn't. Beautiful valley coming through up I-15 between Idaho Falls. Once you get out of Idaho into Montana, it's gorgeous in there. So yeah, found this little hotel in this little town in Montana, so I figured it was a good opportunity to stop and get some non-freeze-dried food and dry out all of my gear. And so I'm all refreshed, hot shower, and ready to hit the road again today. Been looking at the weather and kind of the timing I've got on this trip, and I'm going to go ahead and work my way up to Kalispell, Montana, which is just kind of southwest of Glacier National Park. I'll head up that way. They do say there's a chance of rain, but it's a pretty small chance, so just see. That's kind of, there was a campsite up there that I was planning to stay at, so we'll just see how it goes, play it by ear, and if I gotta reroute and detour and make other plans, then I'll do that. So let's go. So had one minor inconvenience here. My phone was getting pretty wobbly on the phone mount, and got to realize the phone mount was actually coming apart. The back side here, the 2 screws went missing, and these are backing out too, so I think I better stop and get that off before I lose that altogether with the phone. Come on. Y'all fit here just fine before. Don't not fit just because I took the phone off. So I guess at this point, I'm just going to put the phone in here too. I'm pretty much on my way to Kalispell, Montana. There's really nowhere to turn off a detour, so stay on this until I get there. Gorgeous place here though. My gosh, look at this. The lake. Some sort of a lodge out there on the little island. Look at that, that's a huge house. Whichever one. I'd take that. Okay. Lock up this rear. Of course, I'm on this section of road that's under construction, and it's got nowhere to pull off, so that's lovely. They're all probably thinking, you idiot, this is not a place to stop to sightsee. Stupid tourists. Okay. Alright. I think that'll get us back on the road here, and I'll address it. I seem to be having some issues with the clutch. It seems to be slipping at higher RPMs, like when I really get on it to accelerate. So once I get up into Kalispell, I'm going to address that a little bit. I don't know if maybe the oil needs to be changed or an adjustment on the clutch. The clutch doesn't feel like it needs to be adjusted. At the low RPM, it seems to do just fine with the adjustments, so I don't know. Anyway, a couple hours away from Kalispell. I'll get at it here, and we'll kind of address all the little issues when I get there. Boy, it's been a while since I've seen a pump like this. Welcome to Kalispell, Montana. Here we are in a hotel room, unfortunately. Things didn't quite go as I had planned yesterday. It's just kind of the nature of dispersed camping. Coming up 83 north towards Kalispell, absolutely gorgeous ride. I mean, it's just, I could spend days there. It's so beautiful. Lots of little alpine lakes and mountains and trees. All, of course, now it's end of September, so getting all the colors of fall, along with a lot of greenery. It's just gorgeous. And I passed countless access points for the forest land. And I could have and should have just picked one, pulled off, and pitched a tent, because that's what dispersed camping is about. But I didn't. I had this particular area in mind. It's actually north of Kalispell, closer to Glacier National Park. And I saw a bunch of national forest in that area, so I thought, perfect, this will work out great. So I got up there, and they have the national forest in that area really regulated. Which, I mean, I get it, because it's so close to Glacier National Park. There's probably a lot of tourism in that area, and they don't want people going and just trashing the national forest. So they make it rather inconvenient and have kind of designated routes that you can drive on, and any of the offshoots are blocked off with boulders, so you can't really venture down any of the side paths or roads or anything. So I was working my way back down this windy road, going deeper into this national forest area, and came across this dam, and I think it's called Hungry Horse Reservoir or something. So anyhow, I kept going because they said that there was camping back there. I had figured it was going to be in an established camping ground, which is fine. At that point, it was starting to get later. I just wanted somewhere to stop for the night. So I got my way back in there. Another gorgeous little, I guess they could call that a park within the forest. I don't know, but anyhow, that's another place I definitely want to go back to. But I worked my way back, and I got to the first campgrounds. Pulled in, plenty of open campsites, and it's a fee area, which is, again, fine, except the nightly rate for that campground is $16. Well, I don't do cash. Cash is not something that I work with anymore. I do everything on cards. I happen to have like $14 in cash that I had brought, just had laying around at the house, but the campsite was $16. So I can't just stuff $14 in an envelope and call it good, because that's not really how that works. And of course, back in there, I didn't have any cell reception, so I couldn't get online to see if maybe there was an option to pay for the site online with my card. And there was a note there saying that you can, alternatively pay the camp host, which was over at this boat ramp that was a little ways back down the road. So, okay, fine. Jump on the bike, go down there. I found the camp host site. It's got a trailer on it. It's got a truck parked out front. It's got a golf cart kind of a thing. So park there, go up, knock on the camper door. Wait. Nobody ever comes. Nobody's home. Well, at this point, it's starting to get dark out. I'm not sure what to do. Still no cell reception. No camp host. I don't have enough cash for the campsite. So and there was really nowhere else to go. So I made the decision to jump back on the bike and head into Kalispell and get a hotel for the night. Motel 6, which I hate coming to Motel 6. This is going to be kind of a roast video. It just has not been going so great. Anyway, we're not going to go there. But yeah, at a Motel 6. And I tell you, I just hate coming to Motel 6s, because it's like, you always got the tweakers out in the parking lot. You always got the drunk people yelling. I guess it's just a part of the Motel 6 experience, but every Motel 6 I've ever gone to in the country, that's always how it is, unfortunately. And the rooms just don't look close at anything because, I mean, you know, you just don't want to, let's see here, it's just random stains on the table, and the floor's kind of falling apart, and oh, some cigarette burns on the thing there. Just, oh, hey, there's my alarm clock. That means it's time to wake up. Let me stop that real quick. Dismiss. There's probably going to be more before the end of this video. And of course, you know, don't look close at whatever that is. Mold. Anyway, you get the point. And but I need to find a hotel that's got the parking, you know, kind of right outside there. My bike's actually on the other side of that green car there, because I've got to bring in all of my stuff. I have no way to really secure it. I could lock the boxes on the bike, but it's just as much effort to just take them off. Got those, I got this, and of course I'm wearing all that, but you know, anyhow. So there's that. That's why I'm in a Motel 6 when I would much rather be camping. So now what I need to do is go out and try and adjust the recluse clutch on the bike. It was slipping pretty good yesterday at higher RPMs. So basically, when you put one of these recluse clutches in, you keep the clutch lever on the bike and you tighten the cable pretty tight. It's got a fair amount of tension on it, and that allows for adjustment as the friction discs wear down. And I'm hoping that's all it is, that I can just basically loosen that cable up a little bit, because it's what they call free play gains. So in neutral, when you rev this thing, this clutch lever is supposed to kind of come in just a little bit, and that indicates what the free play gain is at. And when I rev it, it's not moving at all. So that's telling me that things are a little too tight and the clutch discs can't grab properly. Now, if that cable was too loose, they would grab all the time, and you know, it wouldn't function as it's intended to at an idle. You just put it in gear and it would either take off or stall out. So that adjustment has to be fine-tuned. I'm really hoping that's all it is. If for some reason the friction discs are just completely fried in that thing, it'll probably conclude this trip, because these V-Stroms, to change the clutch pack in them, you got to pull the side cover off of the engine. To do that, you got to drain the coolant, you got to pull a bunch of the plastics and gas tank off, and of course the clutch packs themselves, being recluse, are going to be special order most likely. And then this engine cover is not just a standard rubber gasket like most motorcycles. It's like a thin, I think it's like a paper or a cork style gasket. So that's going to have to be replaced, which those are kind of hard to find. I learned, you got to order them. Nobody has them in stock. So if that's what it comes down to, I'm going to just have to put the bike in storage and catch a flight back home, and then come back for the bike probably in the spring, because it's going to start snowing here soon and I got work and all that. So hoping for the best that the adjustment's going to solve the problem and I can continue on and finish out the rest of this trip. So let's play with the clutch, see what happens.
Bye.